Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this series of key knob modeling instruction films. So far, we've covered importing a canvas image, which we did in the last movie. Also, we have created what is to be the top and bottom surfaces of this unit. Um, Today, we're going to make the outline of this key knob and create the side surfaces, which we like later on will round off and so on. But let's put ourselves in a top view, pressing F5, so we can clearly see the outline here and start by creating curves capturing the shape of this key knob here all the way around like that. So I'm going to bring down the transparency of my image plane, or bring up the transparency really by sliding this slider here slightly so I can see what I'm doing here. Also, now is a good time to create a new layer called surfaces, like so, and put our surfaces by picking them and go assign so we can hide them temporarily because we're not going to use those now. And start by creating a circle. Now you can clearly see the point why we so carefully placed our image place or plane into the origo, placing the center of this circle right in origo. So if I go curves, primitive circle, and make sure it's periodic, and I have a 5 by 12 degree on that. So I hold down the Alt key and press somewhere close to origo like that. And then we scale our circle to match the outer or this outer contour as long as it can. So we bring it down, zoom in slightly, and scale it down so that we just about touch the outer contour, like so. That's a good start for us. Now we need to attach another curve onto this circle. And it looks like we could probably start all the way down here and cover it with one curve stretching all the way to the top. This very edge here, we're going to do later on with surfaces. But I want to, or I can actually create a curve right now. So let's do that. Curves, new CV curve. Hold down Control and Alt, click on this curve and slide the first point down to where I want it to start. And as you can see, it snaps on to that grid line right there. So let's start there and start clicking out points, trying to capture this shape right here. So I'm going to put a point there, another one there. There's another one over here somewhere. I'm going to move these around later on, so there's no panic. Something like that, maybe. And now it's a matter of getting really close here. So I'm going to bring down the transparency slightly and start moving my CV points. So pick CV, so pick the first point right there. And then go move. We're gonna bring it over here somewhere. Trying to find that contour, which is kind of hard to see because there is a shadow here. So I'm guessing now, but that looks kind of nice. Bring this one over here Have a look at this one. Looks all right. That one looks all right. And maybe we should bring that closer in and bring it down slightly, something like that. Something is going on here. Oh, okay. I have my curve there. Um, Now I need to trim my circle in order for it to attach to my new CV curve here. And in order to do so, since the circle has no beginning and no ending, I'm going to have to break it somewhere here to begin with. And I do that by using Object Edit, Attach, and then go to Detach. I click on my circle and then I can slide the breaking point to somewhere in this area. It doesn't really matter where. So I'm going to put it right there and then go. So now the circle begins and ends over here, and I can trim it to my new CV curve over here. And to trim the curve, I use Curve Edit and then Curve Section. I then click on the curve to be trimmed on the part I want to keep, like that, and then click on the curve to trim to by clicking on this curve right here, or go first by hitting spacebar. And then I click on the curve I want to trim to, like that. So now these two curves are not really attached, but they are beginning and ending in the same point. And you can see our formal circle ends right here. We're going to trim that to the other curve that we bring on here later on. Another really important detail here is that this curve needs to be tangent to the circle, so we don't get a sharp corner at the intersection right here. I'm going to show you what that means by drawing an example over here. So let's put one curve here, like so, and another one, which I snap on to the endpoint of this by holding down Control and Alt and sliding it to the end of that first curve, and then put another curve like that. Now we can clearly see, I'm going to turn off the CV points here. We don't need those. We can clearly see that this curve or these curves form a rather sharp corner over here, and we don't want that. So we want to manipulate this curve to go smoothly into that curve. And for that, we have a tool under Object Edit and Align. So I hit Align and go to Settings by hitting the little box, like so. And here we have a bunch of different settings. What you need to know is that G0 means that the two curves connect, which these two actually do. G1 means that we have a tangent intersection or connection here, which is smooth. G2 makes it even smoother, and G3 even smoother. But let's stick with G1, which is tangency, and click on the curve I want to manipulate. So I click on this curve close to the connecting points, like that. And then I click on the other curve and watch what happens. The curve now smoothly goes into the other curve like this. If I want to alter the shape, but maintaining my tangency, I can use a slider right here. But it will always smoothly connect to the other curve. So let's try that with our CV curve that we just created and see what happens. I'm going to get rid of these two by deleting them. go back to our little sketch that we have here. So let's bring down the or transparency, or bring it up, and go Object Edit, Align. Make sure I have tangency G1. Click on the curve I want to manipulate, which is this curve, because this part I want it to remain circular. So I'm going to click on this curve right here, and then on that one there, and see how much it changed. It changed quite a bit, didn't it? So I'm going to bring down this slider slightly, and also bring down the transparency so I can see what is really going on here. I probably also need to move this control vertex as well. And as long as I don't touch this one, the tangency over here is going to be fine. Let's also bring this one in slightly, and that one too, I think, needs to come down a little bit. Well, something like that. It works fine for this example. And let's start with the other curve, which is the S curve going this way. And we do that the same way by creating a new CV point curve and snap it onto our circle. And now we need to estimate the point where this shape actually abandons the circle, and it's probably in this area here. So I'm going to snap my first control vertex onto this curve to maybe here somewhere. I'm guessing now, so we'll see how that works. And then start clicking out points along this curve here. Something like that, maybe. See how that looks. We are going to have to do the same operation in this area here. So I'm going to trim my circle by using Object Edit. No, Curve Edit, Curve Section. Click the curve I want to trim. It has a construction history, and I want to continue and trim that to this curve right here. No, go and trim it to this curve right here. So these two are now meeting at this point, but no guarantee for tangency yet. So we're going to have to use the Object Edit Align command once more. Check that we have G1 checked, and click on this curve right here, and then onto that one right there. So now we have the tangency. And we can see that we have a gap here now that we need to somehow correct. So I'm going to bring that down slightly and then start working my CV points. Where's my first CV? It's right there, isn't it? So move that one, bring it. Oh, there's another one here. So let's bring this one over here. And this is an S-shaped curve, so the control vertex will change sides. So this one is on the other side, so bring it in slightly. Probably bring that one up a bit, and this one out a bit. Something like that. I think we've managed to at least fairly catch the shape of the outline here.